That's the thing with these statistics. When you look at the ladder right now, OOTD is in such an experimental form right now. It's hard to take any of their win percentages serious. So I'm glad we're getting some tournament games to see just how sucky they really are. We hop in to game number 2 of this best of 3 between Wham and Vortex. Vortex cozily on the Ottomans. He should be warmed up on these already after game number 1. Wham has mixed it up though. We are getting the Dragon Boys. And this is indeed mega random. And this is indeed mega scamdom. What? This is why I said Mirror Mega Random may be a much better choice for tournaments than Mega Random. Honestly, I don't know how Vortex is meant to win this based on map spawn. Look at the relics, look at the fish. Like, there is nothing that is bad about this spawn for Wham. God. Vortex has got his work cut out. I'll have to see what the Spaniard can do. He's going to open with immediate dock. The good news for him is Wham is yet to scout his pond. The bad news is Wham is now going to scan his pond. What Wham might actually do is go feudal first, though. I think it'd be really smart to just go feudal. Like, at this point, you have to, right? You've got 2 people on gold. You've already been out here to the point you're going to be halfway on the gold required. There's no reason to hang back and now go for the play onto fishing. So Vortex has that advantage. And I say it like that because it's not really an advantage, considering OOTD can just open the age with a little bit of harass, right? Like, you'll probably see... Do you maybe just go Horseman? I feel like Gilded Archers are kind of interesting, but your opponent will eventually get feudal, right? So although you could idle the fishing a bit, you're not going to kill the fishing with 2 Gilded Archers. This could be a Mindwork game, though. I feel like Arkin is more beneficial in these situations, but if Wham decides he wants to play more land aggro, Mindwork works a bit better. If it's all about fishing, I'm a bigger fan of Arkin. Arkin it is. So, it looks like Wham is not going to be committing into some early men-at-arm spam. He's not going to be looking to go all in the first 8 minutes. Pretty sensible here. I don't think you have to. With the spawn sitting as it is, I think the pressure is actually on Vortex to be the one doing things. So, realistically, you just need to kind of hunker down, protect your economy, and then come out ahead. Wham, how deep are we going here? Probably to the gold here. Maybe he wants to make it a little bit less obvious that he's docking. Okay, no, he's going to settle in the corner here. I actually think this is like the best spot. You block some shoreline fish, but you're very close to free deep waters. So much in here as well. It's kind of insane, actually. He got what? 10? 10 deep water fish, and Vortex has 1. Doesn't exactly feel like a very fair spawn. So what is Vortex's win condition in this matchup? I think, ideally, fast castle and relic contesting would have been really good for him. But now, considering the state of the map, I think he's going to have to take a more aggressive line here. It's not something that Vortex is shy about. It's not something he's unfamiliar with. We know this guy loves to spill blood. But Order of the Dragon are always kind of a weird one to dent in the first 10 minutes, right? Like, if you get the unit comp wrong because you're striking first and Wham then reacts, he's going to have an overwhelming advantage. So it's really important that when Vortex looks to attack his opponent here, he layers the cake, as I like to call it. He needs to make sure he's hopping from unit type to unit type as he's trickling them in. Because if he decides he's just going to all in with archers and walks to the enemy base, 2 horsemen clears him up, right? That's the brutal reality of Order of the Dragon, is they are this civ that in some ways can end up one-dimensional because they always have to be very, very careful about how they trend one unit type to the other because it's very expensive. But if they ever get ahead of you on that transition, or they get the initial matchup right, it feels like a complete stomp. Interesting thing about giveaways for Sultan's Ascent. I may have to look to do a few of those. I have got a few keys sitting around for Sultan's Ascent and the base game. In fairness, though, for what you get out of Sultan's Ascent, I gotta say, like, of all the RTS expansions I've seen, Sultan's Ascent is an insane bargain. And I say this as a person who's aggressively against, like, released expansions, because I think it's, like, it's tough compared to if there's a freemium model, such as cosmetics, right? Like, that's much easier to sell people on, because when you do expansions, you create power creep. But credit to him, Damn, is it cheap? And well, damn, is this cheap? Vortex tries for the 100 with Doc, but the damage he already took means he can't commit. Remember, Gilded Villagers also have more base health. Oh, that's rough. And we already done per villagers. We've already done this at the start. Usually I switch over at like 3 or 4 minutes, because at that point, it's more important to see the incomes. Especially when fishing gets laid in as well. So Vortex does have the Eco Lead for the moment, but remember, he's at cap here. He can't really go deeper than this. 7 fishing boats for 1 deep water fish already feels like you're scamming yourself. You do at least have all the shoreline fish, but those are notably worse. Second dock also coming up from Wham. To Vortex. He did do something kind of funky here. He went Sultanate Trade Network. I get why he done it, because he has fishing, but you need to actively trade. I just don't know if it's worth it at that distance. There's a risk that Wham just fast castles here. That's another reason why I want him to actively trade, is to get more value out of this. Stables has been dropped. The horseman's going to be pumped out, but I think, what, 2 horsemen and then you go castle? Because the reality is now you've got lots of food, not so much gold income. You can afford to build a few heavily food-favored units, which basically means horsemen in the situation. And that works perfectly, considering that Vortex did go archers. Remember what I said about this matchup? Really, any time you're against Or the Dragon, if you get your initial transition wrong, you lose. Vortex has at least added the racks in. But the archer detail is scary here. Especially with the economy behind it. Wham is going to march in. Vortex, he's going to have to make a move. If he just sits here, it's going to be a GG by like 15 minutes. First wave are moving in. Wham reacting perfectly with the outpost though, the correct call. This has slowed down his tech timing, but it's worth it considering this will just stop any sort of raiding. And now it gets tough, folks, because Vortex, he didn't get that dock up. He can't contest water. Because to contest water, you'd have to build a blacksmiths and get siege engineering. And then build a ram. Right? So 325 resources going into blocking something, or 375 rather, while your opponent is teching up. Feels like a death sentence here. Yeah, this one's brutal, man. Could Vortex have done anything different here? Honestly, not really. I think this is just a pristine example of why this is not a map that should ever enter a tournament. I don't feel like I saw a single game in the tournament on Mega Random that made me feel like, wow, this is great in the game. Every time I was like, wow, this is really unfair. Dock drop coming in from Vortex. At least he's got that going for him, but now it becomes land focused, right? You need to guard all these relics, and he is indeed going in for the ram. And I believe Wham should just pump 2 to 3 men at arms, right? 2 to 3 men at arms will just push this all back. Remember, this is 1 ram to deal with an outpost that will have E-repairs as well. Also, in the meantime, I'll try to cut reinforcements. Well, you know, this game's probably not going to be worth watching, so I might as well tell you about something that is worth your time. Protein works. You guys hate having to go cook a meal, right? Like, you know, here's the difference right now in terms of speed and efficiency. Vortex is that guy who, like, goes to the kitchen and he gets the can of SpaghettiOs out and he unravels them and he tries to spice it up a little bit. Maybe he makes some brioche buns or whatever. Wham's the guy who just goes across to Protein Works website and then gets himself some easily made meals. All he has to do, pop it in a nice little tub, shake, shake, shake. All of a sudden, you're baking, baby, because you got some nice blueberry cheesecake riot tasting drinks. It's a no-brainer. Well, at least we got some value out of this game. Vortex is at least going to try to make it competitive here. He has actually snuck on and started to block out the fishing. But as we mentioned, it's no longer about the fishing. It's about land. Your castle versus feudal. Your opponent has got men at arms. And once these guys get pushed back, which they most definitely will, it's going to be over. E-repairs is on cooldown. Outpost is going to go down. I actually think Wham just needs to not overreact. Just let the men at arms do their stuff. That's all you need. If you do that, the game is over. It's kind of funny, right? Like, Vortex is 1 water, and yet it doesn't feel like it's going to matter. Because now, to use that water to get value out of it, like, there's a scale point, right? And to scale that, to build up the fishing, to also shut out these docks permanently, you're not investing on land. You're not investing in tech up. Wham! Should now just be grabbing all the relics he can. First one on the way home. The idle time was good, right? Like, it did stop him gathering gold to get additional men-at-arms, additional prelates, but he's back with ferocity to him. 10 villages out towards the gold. Outpost coming up. These men-at-arms, yep. He sees it. Wham says, wait. Why am I chasing you when you're not moving? Head straight for the economy. Vortex, he's going to have to build another ram. It's going to be a dive in. Wham. Might lose 1 or 2 villages here. He never went for wheelbarrow, right? But now on the other side, men-at-arms, they sneak out of the stealth forest. And these guys hit hard. Vortex, swift reactions. But now a lot of idle time here. 13 villages not working. Horseman now going to ride into the tree line. I think the problem is Vortex just doesn't have enough units. He needed to go cast slays, right? Which sacrifices a lot. Now, weirdly enough, Wham has been very slow on returning these relics. I got to give it to him. Vortex is making this more competitive than it should be for an absurd spawn like this. I'm just struggling to see the way. The men-at-arms could actually just dive towards the TC now. Like, legitimately, if Wham just goes in with these 2 men-at-arms, he can idle out the tech up forever. Because he's got the undermesh, right? So he's got 5 armor. Yeah, 5 armor versus the 9 damage defense. Against the 290 HP unit. This is absurd. It's going to be marching. Meantime, 2 more men-at-arms chase away the remaining army. 3 prelates now in the field. 1 relic already home. 2 now coming. And Wham is so far ahead. He says, I can confidently A-click a house because I'm not losing this game. Why? Why? Well, he'll at least kill Samiko now. Funnily enough, Wham literally could have just ended the game if he walked over to the Mehmed Imperial Armory straight away. He might still, though. I mean, it's a game where there's 8 men-at-arms already in the field. He's trying to queue up the crossbows to defend this. It's already starting to come at a cost, right? 2 relics already home. More looking to be grabbed. In fact, Wham, he sneaks out onto the pond right next to Vortex, and he also builds a monastery here to pick up the relics. That's cool, by the way. Garrisoning inside the dock, that gives him an increased attack speed on all military ships on the map. Not really sure where he's planning to use that, but love that he actually done it. You hate this OTD unit? You're kidding me, right? This Civ gets its ass kicked in all the time, man. They're tanky, but they're really, really expensive. You have to pay the same that someone would for a knight to get this. Conceptually, I really love the idea of Order the Dragon. Their balance is just very difficult to get right. I think I said it to the devs when they were working on it, when it was coming out. I was like, this is basically going to be a Civ that will always be overpowered or underpowered. It's going to be... Maybe once in the blue moon, you'll find that perfect balance. But it'll be difficult to maintain. Go to crossbowman now being queued. See, if you hate this unit, wait until you experience the Gilded Crossbowman, because I actually think the Gilded Crossbowman may just be the best unit that Order of the Dragon has. 6 tower range crossbowman with crossbow stirrups. And almost impossible to kill. Men-at-arms, less impossible. Crossbows and lances will be able to clear that up. Vortex, credit to him, man. Like, he's actually hanging in there. He's got fishing going on. But that's basically where his eco lead is, right? Like, it's all on the ponds. He's lost a lot on land. Meanwhile, Wham has lost a lot on sea, not so much on land. The thing to keep in mind for people struggling against Order of the Dragon is the reality is this is a Civ that can't transition units easily, and you can. I think the reason that maybe some players don't like playing against Order of the Dragon is they actually force you to change unit types more often. If you're someone that just likes building French Knights, or you just like one-tricking Lombos, you're going to hate Order of the Dragon, because they can counter you more easily. Right? The way that Order of the Dragon always gets flopped, and why its win rates are terrible, is because high-level players will just see what you're doing, and then drop a different production building. Because if you build 10 crossbows, right? Like 10 crossbows for a normal civ, oh wow, I mean, that's quite expensive. That's 1,200 resources. When Order the Dragon does it, that's 2,400 resources. Eco Lead doesn't exist anymore, by the way. 44 to 46. Remember, this is Order of the Dragon. They build villages slower. On top of that, 4 relics. And that attack speed increase is actually mattering here. A little bit of splattering going on from the galley. Army gets baited in. Mango's at least going to try to counter that out, but doesn't feel like it's doing enough damage here. Too much damage is being done in return. Vortex, he's focusing on the pond when he needs to be focusing on the base. Killed a knight. Just gonna have to contest this. The funny thing is you can just kill one knight and then run away. Or you could hang around and make this look worryingly close. He'll always lose the fight, right? But like, it's kind of comedic how close you can make it after you get the first kill. Wow, I'm now marching out with the real army. Go to crossbowman that hit bloody hard, actually. He can't one-hit the fishing. He's just, what, I think too short? Still, he can start to idle out in a game where Vortex needs all the food he can get. Guys, it's about to be a 5-relic game. It's not the most immediately apparent stomping, and that's credit to Vortex. Like, Vortex is doing well to even still look like he's in this game. But he just doesn't have a clean answer now. He went mass crossbows, there's gilded crossbows. He's trying to get mangoes, but unless he can get free passively, the gilded crossbowman won't care. Military school's now being rushed up, because of course when you play too much water, that's the thing you're lacking. There's been 0 passive production for 17 minutes in this game. It's all been forced production. Well, oh. Oh, that feels so much worse. He gets baited back underneath the TC. That was sick from Wham. He just outplayed him there. So he keeps the injured Gilded Knight alive. He can top that guy off. He did actually get herbal medicine quite early, so he does have the healing. Double galley. I wonder, does he try to sneak back underwater here? Vortex sees almost everywhere. You'd have to come the south side, but now you have that 5% attack speed advantage, right? So you actually could just beat his ass. No, calmer moment, but now Vortex is going to have to make moves. I think if you just sit back here as Vortex, you lose the game. He's actually gathering a lot of stones, so it's possible we're looking at a 2TC build. I have to wonder if a keep drop is better, though. Like, if you can get a keep next to the Archon, it's GG, maybe, but that's such a big ask. Definitely looks like it's going to be a keep somewhere. I don't know if this is going to be a keeper, though. His army lead isn't substantial. Vortex going for a GG play that might just end up GGing him. Remember, Wham is already on match point. Single elim format here, so if Vortex loses, he is aus. Wham forces a fight even earlier. Vortex running villages towards us right now. Vortex, oh no, now Wham knows. It's going to be a dive in. Spinman men arms head on in. The Mangonel has to retreat. You need to defend it, but the problem is the supply, he can't against spears. So it goes around the back. Mango now removed means that Wham can take this much slower. Because there's no way that Vortex can fight without siege support. Second Mango on the way. If this one dies, I think it's just going to be a pushback towards the base. Vortex trying for a keep again. Wham sees it though. Starts to snipe it out. Needs to move in range. Remember, 6-star range makes it quite easy. Villagers are now being targeted. Crossbows as well. Spearmen going around the back though. Second wave of spears are coming in, so he should be fine with this. And then also the prelates. Oh, that's sick. Wham. He frontlines with the prelates. So the Sipahi don't get the bonus damage. This is over. No way that keep goes up. Another Mango goes down. And I simply think there's just too many crossbows now. You have to commit in. Like, at this point, sunken cost fallacy, right? GG gets called. Mega Random was not kind of Vortex. Best attempt falls short, and the Canadian makes it look simple to get a 2-0 against one of the best.